We have ourselves a fight. David Benavidez, David Morrell. Both fighters have made weight. I will explain in this video, so give me some time. Special edition, Ego Weight Watchers, aka ILL, where I give you guys a look into the fighter lifestyle before, after progress picks, especially when they have an upcoming fight. Now, David Benavidez Morrell is a boxing fan's dream fight. Two guys that are selling the fight, two guys that don't like each other, and it's apparent. Two guys who put themselves through the rigors of a tough training camp. Meaningful fight. Both guys have one fight apiece at the division they're fighting at, 175. It's been promoted well, and stylistically, things that Benavidez does well really can give problems to Morrell. Things that Morrell possesses really can give problems to Benavidez. So I love it. I'm going to take you through the weights. Make sure you guys follow me on my social media, where I also cover boxing. I am not just one platform. Help the page get to 75K. That's the next milestone for me. Link in the description. Let me explain this, because some people, again, fights like this attract people who don't watch boxing all the time. Casuals, if you will. Sometimes for fights this big, pay-per-view, the promoter, we've seen more and more promoters will do a morning weigh-in to satisfy the commission and the contractual agreement. And the fighters weigh in. It's not a bunch of cameras. It's not the public and the media or a lot of members of media. They weigh in like a private weigh-in supervised by the commission. And then the weigh-in that you guys are watching on PBC later at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that's called a ceremonial weigh-in. So what that is basically just for show. You're doing it to face off the fighters, to give the fans a show and build the excitement. But the weight on the weigh-in, they've already done it in the morning. So the weights have already been recorded. So likely by the time the fans get to see it, the fighters, even if they were like more dehydrated, they put fuel back into their body. They've rehydrated. They've taken some electrolytes. They've eaten a meal that maybe they couldn't eat when they were cutting weight, like carbs and pasta. So that's where we're at with it. The weigh-in you guys are going to watch is just for show. Now, makes my job very easy. I made this graphic, 174.2 for both fighters. Both fighters weighed the exact same amount. Makes it easy. They had to get to 175 or under. Both guys are under. Boom, we have ourselves a fight. This picture on the left I use is from Team Benavidez. Benavidez's team leaked out these pictures, and this is David Benavidez. This is unedited. This is how it looked, right? So Benavidez made weight, weighed the same as Morrell. He flexing, he feeling good. And there we have it. Now, judging from Benavidez, Ego Weight Watchers, aka ILL, I've done this for a while. I think Benavidez, he made weight. I mean, for real, that's the most important. That the fight ain't canceled, or, there's no drama or whatever. So that's the most important thing. However, from my estimation, I would say he started off camp a little bit too heavy for my liking. I think he was too big to start camp, so he had to come down in weight. That's why I always tell you guys, these fighters, they got to manage their weight in their off season. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying this to nitpick, because, again, it doesn't even matter at this point, because they both made weight and we have ourselves a fight. I'm just giving, for the boxing fans who care about this aspect of it, I think Benavidez started his camp a bit too high, and you know, he looked like he had to come down and get that up off him, and he did it. So that's what truly matters, is that he got the weight up off him, and we have ourselves a fight. Hopefully he trained hard, and, you know, we get a good fight about this. That's what really matters. But there were pictures floating around of Benavidez when they first did the promo stuff, when this fight was first announced and doing the press conference. Now, just to give you guys an example of what I'm talking about, of why I say he started the camp a little bit too heavy, in my opinion, just my opinion, folks, is this is the screen grab from their first encounter when the fight was first announced. Again, just for perspective, we went from this to David Benavidez' current form, which is right here. So he definitely had to shave some pounds off. The other thing is he's moved up. He was at 68, moved to Miami and all this, and then he moved to 175, right? So you're already giving yourself a break, and then it looked like he was pretty big to start the camp off, like well over 175. But again, I'm not going to spend no more time than that talking about it. It is what it is. It's just my personal taste. He made weight, and hopefully he trained as hard as possible. There's a video I did about, you know, his face looked a little weight drained and stuff like that. But nonetheless, Benavidez, on the flip side, is this. He's a warrior. He's shown to be durable in all of his past fights, and he knows what's at stake, and he needs to get past Morrell to get these better Bivs and Bevel winners and all these other fights. So I'm not worried about it. The other thing is Benavidez, he was, as a kid, like when he was 15, he was kind of portly. You know what I mean? He was always like kind of a big kid. So I haven't really seen Benavidez as being he's not really the body beautiful type, pause, right? Where he's going to come looking like Anthony Joshua. But one thing he does come to do is fight. And so far, he has like some of the fastest hands at 168 and now 175. And he's very fluid in his style. So it really doesn't matter, you know what I mean, as much as other people. Like even like Tyson Fury, he's kind of in that same boat where Tyson Fury can get off his style even if he's 300 pounds. Whereas if Wilder weighed 300 pounds, he's going to look like a totally different fighter, probably not in a good way because that's not his natural weight. Benavidez knows how to move and like, you know, get the rapid fire machine gun funk combinations off at the higher weight. Now, as far as David Morrell, mira papi, please. He is very confident. He talking about stopping Benavidez, and he does look like career best shape. You know, I've showed you Benavidez. These are recent pictures of Morrell. I mean, he looks lean. He looks in shape. He looks ready to go. I mean, he also looks big, but he just looked like Brocky, like brolic and big. You know what I mean? So all in all, this is a banger. Take my money. Period. Take my money. Morrell looking chipped up. And Morrell, one thing that's very interesting, and I've noticed this with a lot of Cuban fighters, his temperament, he's super calm. Like Benavidez is like, you were calling him names, baiting him. And Morrell just like at the mic, he's like more so, he don't look as agitated. Morrell look a bit more calm to me in the final press conference. And then Benavidez, he sound like more rage. Like I got rage and I can't wait to take it out on you. You know what I mean? And those are always going to be great fights because it's styles make fights. The last thing I'll say is you have to understand boxing. You got two people promising the same thing, which is basically a knockout. So either they're both going to come up short or one person's going to fulfill that prophecy. And that's what makes this must-see TV. You got two like alpha male type personalities, don't like each other, both trained, both ready, both made weight, and they're promising the same things. Usually, unless it's a draw, they both can be right. So that means one person is not going to be able to cash the check that they wrote. Tune in. I will be doing a watch party. Subscribe for more boxing.